Welcome back to the channel where we deep dive into the most shocking storylines from CBS The Bold and the Beautiful. Today we're exploring one of the most explosive and dangerous plot developments that's set to shake the very foundation of Los Angeles. Buckle up because this story involves forbidden attraction and dangerous obsession, and a threat that could result in tragic consequences for everyone involved. The setup: a forbidden attraction develops. In the current storyline of The Bold and the Beautiful, Dr. Taylor Forrester finds herself in an increasingly complicated and dangerous situation. Taylor, despite her extensive experience in psychology and relationships, appears to be letting her emotions cloud her judgment. What started as casual interactions with Deacon Sharp has evolved into something far more complicated and potentially catastrophic. The tension between them seems to be building with each passing episode, and Taylor appears to be enjoying the flirtation and attention that Deacon is providing to her. The problem with this developing attraction is that it exists in a vacuum of willful ignorance. Taylor, who should know better given her professional background and life experience, seems to be conveniently forgetting or deliberately overlooking one very crucial fact. Deacon Sharp is not a single man available for romantic pursuit. He is currently married to Sheila Carter, arguably the most dangerous and unpredictable woman in all of Los Angeles. This is not a small detail that can be brushed aside or explained away with excuses about complicated feelings or temporary lapses in judgment. Deacon's involvement in this situation adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile scenario. Whether Deacon is actively encouraging Taylor's attention or simply not discouraging it strongly enough remains a question. But the result is the same. Taylor is playing with fire, and she appears to be enjoying the warmth of the flames. The flirtation continues to escalate, and the danger continues to mount with each passing day. Who is Sheila Carter? Understanding the real threat. To fully comprehend the severity of the situation, one must understand exactly who Sheila Carter is and why her discovery of Taylor's attraction to her husband would be so absolutely catastrophic. Sheila is not your typical soap opera villain who can be reasoned with or negotiated with through conventional means. She is a woman with history of extreme actions, unpredictable behavior, and a complete lack of regard for conventional morality or legal consequences. Sheila Carter has earned her reputation as the most dangerous woman in Los Angeles through decades of calculated and impulsive actions. She has proven time and time again that she is willing to go extraordinary lengths to protect what she considers to be hers, including her marriage to Deacon. The woman has a track record of violence, manipulation, and strategic planning that would make even the most seasoned law enforcement officers nervous. When Sheila sets her sights on something or someone, she does not simply give up or accept defeat gracefully.
Sheila has made it abundantly clear through her actions and her words that she will not tolerate betrayal or romantic interference from anyone, regardless of how they are or what connections they might have. For years, Sheila has been the woman everyone feared in Los Angeles. She is the woman whose name is whispered in her way, the woman whose actions are analyzed and discussed in word tone. She is a woman who has demonstrated an ability to operate outside the law, to cover her tracks, and to avoid detection when she commits terrible acts. This is the woman whose husband Taylor is now flirting with, whose Marius Taylor is now threatening through her actions. The rumors begin. Sheila's tolerance reaches its breaking point. Word travels fast in Los Angeles, and rumors about Taylor's interaction with Deacon are already beginning to circulate throughout the community. What started as whispered conversations between acquaintances has evolved into more widespread gossip that is making its way through the upper echelons of Los Angeles' South City. People are talking about how often Taylor and Deacon are seen together, about the way they look at each other, tell the obvious chemistry and attraction that exists between them. These rumors are not going to stay confined to the general population for long. They will eventually reach Sheila, and when they are, her reaction is not going to be one of acceptance or understanding. Sheila is already reaching her breaking point in terms of tolerating what she perceives as Taylor's interference in her friends. Every time a new rumor reaches her ears, her anger intensifies and her sense of betrayal deepens. Sheila's patience is not infinite. In fact, her patience is running remarkably short given the circumstances. She has already made threats and demonstrated her displeasure with Taylor's behavior in various ways. The rumors reaching Sheila's ears will serve as the final straw, the breaking point that pushes Sheila from simply making threats to actually taking action. Sheila has proven throughout her life that she is a woman of her word when it comes to traits of violence or retribution. She does not make empty promises about what she will do to those who cross her. When Sheila says she will act, she means it, and she follows through with devastating consequences for those involved. The unthinkable, Sheila takes violent action. According to reports and speculation about where the storyline is heading, Sheila is going to reach a point where she decides that words are no longer sufficient to address the Taylor problem. Dialogue and confrontation will no longer be enough. Sheila will make the decision to take physical action against Taylor, they'll remove what she perceives as a threat to her marriage and her life. The method that Sheila chooses for this violent action is dramatic and represents the kind of extreme behavior that Sheila throughout in her. Sheila, in a moment of rage and desperation, will arm herself with a firearm. She will obtain a gun with the clear intention of using it against Taylor. She will then locate Taylor and confront her directly. In the heat of this confrontation, with all of her anger and betrayal bubbling to the surface, Sheila will use that firearm. Sheila will shoot Taylor, causing severe injuries or potentially fatal wounds depending on where the bullets strike. This act of violence would represent the absolute combination of Sheila's anger and her willingness to take extreme action. It would demonstrate just how far Sheila is willing to go to protect what she considers to be hers. It would prove that Sheila is not simply making empty threats or engaging in dramatic posturing. Threat that Taylor represents to her marriage and her peace of mind. The shooting itself is shocking and no, but what makes this scenario even more disturbing and complicated is what happens after the violence occurs. According to reports about this storyline development, Sheila will not simply commit this act of violence and then accept legal consequences. She will not turn herself into the authorities or confess her crime. The cover-up, Sheila's strategic approach to evading justice. Sheila's approach to dealing with the aftermath of her violent actions reveal just how calculating and strategic she can be when she approaches the possibility of legal consequences for her behavior. She has clearly thought through this scenario, or at least has enough experience with evading the law to know how to handle it when the time comes. Sheila understands that simply shooting someone in a fit of rage and then leaving evidence at the scene is not how someone gets away with violent crime in a city, Los Angeles, where law enforcement is relatively effective. Instead, Sheila will make a deliberate and calculated effort to remove any evidence that might connect her to the shooting. She will dispose of the weapon that was used to shoot Taylor, making sure that ballistic cannot be traced back to her. She will create alibis for herself, establishing a narrative that placed her far away from where Taylor was shot at the time the shooting occurred. Sheila's knowledge of how to evade law enforcement and cover her tracks comes from years of experience operating on the wrong side of the law. She has successfully evaded detection before, and she has learned from those experiences what works and what does not work when trying to make a crime appear to be something other than what it actually was. She understands the importance of removing physical evidence, controlling the narrative, and of making sure that there are no witnesses who can definitively place her at the scene of the crime. The fact that Sheila will make such a deliberate effort to cover her tracks and hide evidence adds another layer of complexity to the situation. It suggests that Sheila is confident in her ability to commit this violent act and then evade the legal consequences. It suggests that she has planned this action carefully, or at least has the skills and knowledge necessary to handle the aftermath effectively. It suggests that Sheila is fully prepared to do whatever it takes to avoid being held responsible for her actions.